Before No Limit flooded the streets, before Cash Money dominated radio, there was a man who made the South matter in hip-hop long before it was trendy. Tony Draper wasn't handed the keys to the kingdom. He was 16 years old, broke, and determined, yet he would start a label that would change the game forever. Suave House Records became the blueprint for independent Southern success, and while Draper's name doesn't always make the headlines, his influence ripples through every corner of Southern rap. This is the story of a mogul who rewrote the rules before the majors even noticed the South existed, the young mogul with no map. In the mid-1980s, Houston's streets were alive with music, but the South wasn't considered a serious market by the major labels. It was an overlooked territory. Yet for 16-year-old Tony Draper, this was an opportunity, not a limitation. He had no investors, no trust fund, and no industry connections. What he had was ambition, ingenuity, and a stubborn refusal to wait for permission. He learned to press records in small batches, navigate the complicated world of music distribution, and hustle door to door just to get stores to stock his releases. Every rejection taught him something. Every closed door forced him to improvise. Draper didn't just build a label, he built an understanding of a market that everyone else ignored. He realized that most no's weren't the end of the road, they were tests. Tests to see if he had the grit to keep going, and keep going he did. Draper's early years weren't glamorous. He worked long nights, learned the art of negotiation on the fly, and juggled school and business simultaneously. By the time he reached adulthood, he had already built a network, a reputation, and a sense of resilience that would define every move he made in the industry. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Success often comes to the person who pushes hardest, even when the odds are stacked against them. The 8-Ball and MJG gamble. Draper's first major bet was audacious. He invested everything in a Memphis duo named 8-Ball and MJG. They weren't famous yet. They weren't signed to anyone. But Draper saw something most overlooked. Raw talent, street credibility, and a voice that represented the South. Comin Out Hard wasn't just an album. It was a statement.
When you think you got back up, looking for some help, but your boys just slacked up, pumped out, got back, laid low, heading to the front door, sneaking out real slow. How you feel now? What's wrong? What's the matter? Mama never told you not to play with those rappers. MJG got loose in the 9 deuce, but for the 9 trader pimps don't play. Wait, I'ma stay true. Some of y'all gon' trade, some of y'all I'ma like, some of y'all I'ma hate, but see I'm in it.
Draper funded the recording sessions, the cover art, the packaging, and the marketing. He treated the album as if it had already gone platinum. That kind of confidence was contagious. It convinced retailers, radio stations, and fans to take the project seriously. When the album dropped, it became an instant classic. Critics praised its authenticity, and the streets embraced it as an anthem. Overnight, Suave House transformed from a small independent into a label people couldn't ignore. Draper had taken a gamble on belief and turned it into history. The gamble wasn't just financial, it was reputational. Had the album failed, Draper's credibility could have collapsed before he even truly began. But the success of 8-Ball and MJG validated his instincts, proving that recognizing and nurturing talent is just as critical as having the capital to invest. His faith in them set the standard for Southern labels that followed. Market your vision with conviction. Belief in your product can generate momentum even before measurable success arrives. Struggles with distribution and the label game. The early 1990s weren't kind to independent Southern labels. Major distributors ignored the South. Retailers often refused to carry regional records, and the idea that a small label from Houston could chart nationally seemed laughable. Draper refused to be sidelined. He personally drove hundreds of miles to deliver records, negotiated with stores, and learned the distribution game firsthand. He didn't just sell albums, he built relationships and trust with shop owners and DJs. Even when major labels came knocking, Draper resisted the temptation to sell out. Instead of cashing in completely, he opted for licensing deals that allowed him to maintain ownership. That kind of foresight was rare. Many independents at the time gave up control for instant money. Draper understood that long-term value lay in ownership, not quick wins. Draper's approach to the label business was methodical. He analyzed the supply chain, understood how to forecast demand in untested markets, and continuously improved Suave House's operations. By mastering the distribution problem before it became mainstream, he created a competitive advantage that even larger labels couldn't replicate quickly. This combination of persistence and strategy became a hallmark of his career. Control over distribution equals control over your destiny. A smaller share of your own empire beats a bigger slice of someone else's, influencing Master P and Cash Money. Tony Draper's work didn't just elevate Suave House, it reshaped Southern hip-hop. Before No Limit or Cash Money became household names, Draper showed that independent labels could thrive nationally without compromise. Master P studied Draper's model, learning the power of ownership, grassroots marketing, and artist loyalty. Birdman and Slim took cues from how Draper nurtured talent and maintained brand integrity. Suave House wasn't just successful, it was a classroom for the next generation of Southern moguls. Draper's influence extended far beyond marketing and sales. He pioneered strategies for branding, artist image, and community engagement that were ahead of their time. By demonstrating that regional artists could have national impact, he rewrote the rules for independent Southern labels and inspired a wave of entrepreneurs who would go on to dominate the charts for decades. Your work can influence others in ways you never anticipate. Focus on excellence in your lane, and others will inevitably learn from you. The pressure of growth. Success brings scrutiny. As Suave House expanded, Draper faced bigger budgets, more artists, and increasingly complex deals. Contracts that looked appealing often contained hidden pitfalls. One misstep could cost him the control he had fought so hard to maintain. He had to navigate every negotiation carefully, ensuring that each partnership reinforced the label's independence rather than jeopardizing it. The pressure was relentless, but Draper understood one principle: growth without control is dangerous. You might look bigger, but if someone else can pull the strings, you're not truly in charge. The expansion phase also tested Draper's leadership skills. He had to balance artistic freedom with business discipline, mentor young executives, and prevent internal conflicts from undermining the label's operations. Every decision had long-term implications, and he had to weigh them against the vision he had fought years to build. It was a period of intense learning, refinement, and proving that leadership isn't about title, it's about stewardship. Expansion is meaningless if you sacrifice control. Protect your ownership, even when growth seems irresistible. Legacy and the long game. Even after Suave House's peak, Draper's story didn't end. He stayed involved in the industry, mentoring young executives, advising artists, and preserving the label's integrity. His influence remained relevant, proving that legacy isn't about hype, it's about principles and consistency. In an era obsessed with instant fame, Draper's career is a testament to long-term thinking. He understood that trends fade, but strong foundations endure. By maintaining authenticity and control, he ensured that Suave House's story would remain a reference point for generations to come. Draper's long-game approach meant that he measured success not by monthly charts, but by sustainable influence. He built systems that nurtured talent and protected ownership, ensuring that every decision reinforced the label's core mission. This foresight is what separates transient players from historical figures in music business history. Principles outlast trends, build systems and standards that endure beyond the spotlight. Tony Draper didn't just put the South on the map, he taught it how to draw its own. He faced rejection, took risks, and refused to compromise ownership for instant profit. His story is more than a history lesson. It's proof that the right blueprint, paired with relentless execution, doesn't just make money, it makes history. If you found this story inspiring, make sure to hit like, share this video with your friends, and drop a comment with your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe to Musa Mode for more legendary stories. And make sure to check out and subscribe to our other channel, Musa Mindset, to keep leveling up your knowledge and inspiration.